From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now, or learn the stuff they don't want you to know.
This person wishes to remain fully anonymous, so we're going to read the correspondence and then discuss. Here goes. Good day, gentlemen. I've been debating sharing my secret for a while, and I've decided to just go ahead and spill it. It's not as juicy or as exciting as it sounds. We disagree. I am a software engineer for one of a handful of private companies that provide a software connection to the FBI's NCIC databases.
Oh, I remember this one. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
NCIC stands for National Crime Information Center, and it's the United States Central Database for tracking crime-related information. Basically speaking, it's the home of everyone's permanent record as it relates to crime, driver's licenses, etc. Disregarding the archaic infrastructure of the system, my story involves how exposed it really is and how much damage could be done. Okay, this is already feeling dangerous. This is dangerous information. If you're listening to this and you have bad intentions, please stop listening. Just go ahead and stop. We'll wait. Just stop listening now. Okay, good. And you've left?
It's total honor system.
Okay, good. You're gone. Okay, great. Only good-intentioned human beings and other intelligent creatures listening now. Here we go. Try and think back to the 1995 film The Net. While a bit ridiculous in dramatics, the concept of creating, adding to, or even deleting a criminal record is a very real possibility. Even behind multiple layers of protection, access to internal and external systems is frighteningly unprotected. And he says, to steal a turn of phrase, here's where it gets crazy. Without outing myself or my company, I can tell you there are entire states' main servers protected with complex credentials like, can you guess, guys?
Totem Chit, which is the badge they give you in Boy Scouts that says you can use knives.
I was thinking some kind of complex biometric scanning of some sort, but I like where Ben's going as well.
Well, we're thinking more username and password. What do you think the username is?
Oh, yeah, wait. It's unfair because I know the answer, but
okay.
if for everyone, for all our conspiracy realists playing along at home, whatever your idea was, dumb it down.
That's what it is, and we're not going to say what it is. And the password, if you can guess what that one is, you're probably right.
Is it password?
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I'm going to move on with the email here. Seriously, that is 100% fact. Even servers with a more complex login system are remarkably simple. Combine that with databases that are, by default, already logged in, and you have free reign to do whatever you'd like. Don't like that arrest from 10 years ago popping up on a background check? Just log in and delete the record. Want to get an enemy arrested? Just log in, make up some facts, and suddenly they're a confirmed gang member with active warrants and a history of awful sex crimes.
Ooh, buddy.
Even worse, these databases house the end user's login credentials openly. So in theory, you could access the servers, then log into the NCIC software with a police chief's credentials, log out, and no one would be the wiser. That's terrifying. He moves on to say, of course, nothing done nefarious like this would hold up in the long run, and eventually a person's name would be cleared, but imagine the damage it would cause in the meantime. Yeah, that's some short-term chaos that you could pull off right there.
Well, lasting chaos, isn't it? Just to point this out, one of the things that is either a flaw in the justice system or part of the insidious design of the mechanism is that it punishes people for being poor. So it doesn't matter if you're innocent if you cannot afford the real expenses involved in clearing your name. And even after you get your name cleared, there's another mechanism, right, for you to seek compensation for what happened to you. So it will mess somebody up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it's like a long path to becoming whole again, right? Like, I mean, even if you are found innocent and then you've spent all this money, then I suppose you could sue, the person that wrongfully accused you in a civil case to get back some of the money that you spent defending yourself?
If you could discover who it is. I know we're not at the end of the letter yet, but I think that's one of the key pieces there with we're talking about compromising a system, but then the other step is how easy it is to impersonate someone.
Totally. Oh, it's really scary. Just for some further context before we jump into finishing that letter, as we're thinking about the possibilities here of what could go wrong, let's talk about the NCIC a little bit more. Just so we have a better understanding here. So it's literally the records that are kept for everyone. If you're a United States citizen, or if you're actively in the United States, and have certain documentation, there's probably stuff about you in there. Or if you've got a business maybe, or an LLC, or a company that's registered in your name in some way, there's stuff in here. The NCIC was started in 1967 by the FBI. That's when they launched it. And it started with 5 files on an individual that had records in the NCIC. And it had around 350,000 records when it began. Now, at least the last time the FBI updated their website, fbi.gov, it has 21 files that are available or possibly available for each individual, and more than 16 million active records. Wow. And the NCIC averages millions of transactions each day, which means sharing information from one party to another. So what you need to know is that this database is accessed by around 80,000 different law enforcement entities. And you can also get access to this thing if you meet certain criteria, which is really interesting. So you don't have to hack into the system to check out a record that you've got, or something that you've got on your record or somebody else's record. There are several ways you can actually get access. So let's hit a couple of these, and then we'll talk about them, guys. The first one, become an employee of an accredited law enforcement agency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That works, right? Pretty easy.
Yeah, but then you have to think of the buy-in. So pros, it is actually pretty easy, depending on the law enforcement agency and depending on your existing record, if you haven't been able to scrub it yet. And then the other issue is that these are not high-paying jobs. This is really committing to the bit. And then you're going to be suspect number one if you've only worked there for like 90 days, something screwy gets discovered, and you Kaiser Soze out. You're not going to get away. So,
yeah.
So that's
I wonder
one.
if there's that is one. I wonder if there's a way you could scrub the database by hacking into it of your permanent background record, then get hired, then put it back in there, and then nobody knows the difference. What happened? Ha 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 ha.
Why would you put it back?
Well, I don't know. You're right.
A cleaner version.
I don't know.
Just rearrange the text a little bit. Just edit it. Sort of like faking a resume.
Or, give yourself a crime that you think is more interesting. Grand theft dirigible would be a go-to. Stamp
Classic.
fraud.
That's pretty good.
That's always a crowd pleaser.
Who are these people? These monsters. So really quickly, Matt, so this is essentially, it's an interagency database. Like it's a a lot of different law enforcement agencies that have access to this for various reasons, just to clarify.
Yes, 80,000 different agencies and law enforcement
Insane.
Groups. But here's the other thing. Other people and groups can access it, and here's the other way you can gain access.
Yeah. Sorry, we cut you off. What's number 2?
Well, it's okay. You can get certified. So you can actually do this. And it's just to get certified to query the NCIC. So it doesn't mean you're actually going to get to use it or to add stuff to it or remove things from it. You would just be a user, right? Read only. Exactly. And depending on which state you're in, the requirements to be able to query the NCIC are going to be a little bit different. So that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I didn't look it up for Georgia, but we could find out. I'm interested now. What do they got on me? The other thing you can do here is send in a request directly to the FBI to get information about you.
Yeah, right. It's almost like filing for discovery in court. Tell me what you got. You have to be careful how specific you are about that. I think it's probably better to have a legal representative make that request for you, because otherwise you're pretty much saying something like, do you guys know about that shit that went down with me and Blockbuster?
Yeah, seriously.
Still have that Captain Ron tape all these years later. They've been after you, but you know.
Do you have anything on me regarding the Wells Fargo at 4th and 17th Avenue around December of last year? No? Great. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
You know, they get crazy letters, though. They're probably letters where someone says, you know, I demand under this made up law that I read about on Facebook that you delete any DNA or genetic information you have about me, and please return that sample of my stool that you stole in 2017. or I will be forced to take legal action. I don't know if if anybody's received those kinds of scams, but sometimes they are from people who genuinely believe that they're rooted in reality. So I'm sure the FBI itself has a lot of stuff to go through with these requests.
Oh, yeah, there's so much stuff. You guys, those 21 files we talked about, not only do they have silly and fun names, and they're just very straightforward, but there's a lot of information in here. So there's the gun file. You can access your gun file or somebody's boat file or their securities file or their vehicle and boat parts file, their license plate file, fugitive file, foreign fugitive file. Oh no, it's just foreign fugitive file. That's fun.
Law and Order, boat crime, right? Well, why not? First season, Lake Lanier. That's funny if you live in Georgia.
Yeah, exactly. I love it if it was even more specific. Law and Order, vehicle and boat parts.
Yes. And there's that climactic part of the episode where somebody steals a whole boat. And one of the detectives is like, we can't do it. We're boats and vehicle parts. It's a very Chinatown moment because they have to walk away while the guy is like clearly drunkenly yelling at them from his fishing boat.
Oh, yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff in here, and it goes from kind of what feels like a little sillier, even though gun file is not silly at all the way down to a gang file, to a wanted person file, National Sex Offender Registry, violent person file. There's just a lot of stuff in there that you could be searching and you could find for any individual person. There's also, by the way, article file. It's all kinds of information in there. It's like, that's probably going to be the most public information about you as an individual. It's going to be hanging out in there.
And the takeaway here is that this database and databases like it are much more easy to crack into than one might think.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there, and they are possibly easily hackable. So let's jump back here to the email to finish up, and we'll get out of this discussion of the NCIC. Our fully anonymous person says, I understand the situation described is unique and not a likely scenario, but it brings to light the bigger picture of the security of information. I'm absolutely sure you've done stories on hacks and data breaches. Yes, we have. So this is not news to you guys, but the idea and scope of insecurities is much, much larger than anyone could imagine. As many server systems link into clusters, gaining access to one could feasibly open them all up. If you ever do want to look into this or any software-related issues, this person is offering their help for us to look into those things. That's great. And then this person sent us information on the NCIC itself. Then they say, yours truly, fully, incredibly anonymous. So there we go.